What if I told you happiness is not something you chase? It's not in money. It's not in fame. It's not even in other people. The secret to happiness is hidden inside you. The Stoics, men like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, knew this thousands of years ago. And today, when the world is loud, chaotic, and full of distractions, their wisdom matters more than ever. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, you will learn how to find real happiness, even when life feels out of control. Everyone wants to be happy. We say it to ourselves, if only I had this car, this job, this person, then I'd be happy. But when we finally get it, that feeling fades, and we chase the next thing. This endless cycle is called the hedonic treadmill, always running, but never arriving. The Stoics saw this clearly. They taught that happiness is not about running after desires, it's about living with virtue, with clarity, and with self-control. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his journal, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." Happiness isn't out there, it's in here. Your mind, your choices, your character. So why are so many people unhappy today? Why do we feel empty, even when we have more comfort than emperors of the past? Because modern life has trained us to look in the wrong places. Comparison. We scroll through social media and compare ourselves to everyone else. Someone is richer, someone is better looking, someone is more successful, and we feel small. Desire. Advertisements tell us we're incomplete. Buy this, wear this, live here, and then you'll be happy, but it never lasts. External validation. We rely on likes, comments, and praise. Our mood rises and falls on what others think of us. The Stoics would call this slavery, not physical chains, but mental ones. Because when your happiness depends on things outside your control, you'll never be free. So what did the Stoics teach about happiness? First, they divided life into two categories. 1. What we can control, our thoughts, actions, choices. 2. What we cannot control, everything else, wealth, health, reputation, other people. Epictetus said, "Happiness and freedom begin with a clear understanding of one principle. Some things are within our control, and some things are not. This is the foundation. Because when you stop tying your happiness to the uncontrollable, you stop being a victim of fortune." Imagine this. 2 men lose their jobs. One collapses, angry, bitter, blaming the world. The other says, "This is outside my control. What is within my control is my response. I will rebuild." Who do you think is happier in the long run? The Stoics remind us happiness is not about what happens to you, it's about how you respond. Let's pause here. There are 2 kinds of happiness. False happiness, pleasure, status, material gain. It feels good for a moment, but fades quickly. Real happiness, living in harmony with virtue, mastering your emotions, being content with less. This is lasting. Seneca wrote, "True happiness is to enjoy the present, without anxious dependence upon the future." False happiness makes you dependent. Real happiness makes you free. And freedom, for the Stoics, was the highest goal. Now, how do you apply this today? Here are practical Stoic steps. 1. Practice gratitude. Every morning, write down 3 things you're grateful for. Not just big things, maybe the sunlight through your window or a warm meal. Gratitude turns your mind away from what you lack to what you already have. 2. Control your desires. The Stoics practiced voluntary discomfort. Marcus Aurelius slept on the floor sometimes. Seneca ate simple meals. Why? To remind themselves, I don't need luxury to be content. You can try this too. Fast for a day. Take cold showers. Spend a weekend offline. It trains you to find happiness in simplicity. 66. 3. Focus on what you can control. Whenever you feel anxious, ask yourself, is this in my control? If yes, act. If no, let it go. This simple habit removes 80% of unnecessary stress. 4. Live with virtue. For Stoics, virtue meant wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline. If your actions align with these values, happiness will follow naturally. Because a good life is not about what you own, but about who you are. Here's the truth. Happiness is not something you chase. It's something you practice. You don't need to wait for the perfect job, the perfect partner, or the perfect future. Because happiness doesn't arrive when life finally calms down. It begins now, when you decide to live with wisdom, discipline, and inner strength. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts, and you are the only one who controls your thoughts." Let's look at how the Stoics themselves lived this philosophy. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor who owned nothing. Marcus Aurelius ruled Rome, the most powerful empire on earth. He had wealth, soldiers, and glory, but in his private journal, he wrote about simplicity. Receive without pride, let go without attachment. Even as emperor, he reminded himself daily that happiness was not in power or riches, but in living with wisdom and justice. Epictetus, the slave who was free. Epictetus was born a slave. His master could beat him, insult him, or sell him at any time. Yet Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Even in chains, he was freer than most kings because he had control of his mind. His life proved that happiness is possible anywhere, under any conditions, if you live with self-mastery. Seneca, the wealthy philosopher who practiced poverty. Seneca was rich, but he often practiced voluntary poverty. He would eat plain food, wear rough clothes, and ask himself, "Is this what I feared?" By doing this, he trained himself not to depend on luxury for happiness. He showed that even with wealth, the happiest man is the one who can live content with little. So, what deeper lessons can we learn from them? 1. Happiness is not the goal, it is the byproduct. The Stoics didn't aim for happiness directly. They aimed for virtue, living wisely, justly, courageously, with self-control. Happiness came as a natural result. Chase happiness and it runs away. Chase virtue and happiness follows. 2. Control of the mind is the key. Everything can be taken from you, your job, your money, your health, but no one can control your thoughts unless you give them permission. As Epictetus said, it is not things themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them. 3. Detach from outcomes. The Stoics worked hard, but they didn't cling to results. If you do your best, the outcome doesn't matter because you can't control it. This attitude removes fear and anxiety, replacing them with peace. Let's take this further with some advanced Stoic exercises you can try. 1. Negative visualization. Premeditatio malorum. Imagine losing what you love, a friend, your health, your freedom. At first this sounds depressing, but the Stoics said it makes you appreciate life more deeply. If you accept that everything is temporary, you stop clinging and start living fully. 2. Amor fati, love of fate. Don't just accept what happens, love it. See every challenge as fuel for growth. Got rejected? That's training and resilience. Lost money? That's training and humility. Every event is part of your path. 3. Memento mori, remember death. The Stoics meditated on death not to be dark, but to live brighter. If you remember life is short, you stop wasting time on trivial things and focus on what matters. As Marcus wrote, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. So here it is. The Stoic secret to happiness is not about pleasure, money, or comfort. It's about living with virtue, training your mind, and loving the life you already have. Happiness is not in the future, it's in the present. It's not in what you own, it's in who you are. It's not about avoiding hardship, it's about transforming hardship into strength. This is why the Stoics could endure war, exile, slavery, and loss, and still call themselves free and happy. And you can too. Happiness is not something you chase, it's something you choose. Right now, in this moment, you have everything you need to live like a Stoic. Gratitude, discipline, clarity of thought, courage in the face of fate. As Seneca wrote, a wise man is content with himself. So be wise, be content, be free.